Perfect. I call the April 7th, 2026 Committee of the Whole meeting of Glencoe Park District to order. Lisa, please call the roll and take note of the time.
Right, 7 p.m. Commissioner Kobe,
Here.
Commissioner Cummins,
Here.
Commissioner Guzman,
Here.
Commissioner Hazen,
Here.
and Commissioner Weichman.
Here.
Perfect. I do not see any members from the public.
Nope.
So we will skip over that part and we will move right to the presentation of levels of service offered by Parks and Facility Manager, Director Cools, and Parks Maintenance Manager Jared. Provide an overview and lead a discussion on the operations of the Parks and Facilities Department.
Thank you, President Covey. Good evening, everyone. Start by introducing Jared Barchinger. He's our Parks Maintenance Manager. You may remember him from his 10-year recognition back in October. I'm happy to have Jared here tonight to help kind of discuss some of the levels of service and parks maintenance operations. Pretty timely to have this meeting right now. The grass is starting to green up. Weeds are growing, grass is growing. Our youth sports are starting to pick up. And our parks are about to really ramp up in terms of their amounts of activity. So a good time to kind of discuss what we do and how we approach our maintenance operations. Please stop me along the way for any questions, of course. A quick little recap of our Parks Department structure. So Department Director of Parks and Planning. Under me, I have Matt Walker, who is the Assistant Director of Parks and Maintenance. Matt will be giving a similar presentation sometime later this year on the facility maintenance operations. Tonight will be primarily focused on the parks outside of the four walls of our buildings. Led by Jared, who's our Parks Maintenance Manager. Under Parks Maintenance Manager, Jared's team consists of 6 full-time Parks Maintenance staff, as well as 2 part-time summer seasonal staff. Matt's department has 2 full-time trade staff, 3 full-time custodians, and 1 part-time custodian. Little recap of our park system to kind of paint that high-level picture of all that we do have to maintain. So we have 100 acres of parkland throughout Glencoe that we do maintain, 40 individual park sites in which we have 12 playgrounds, 12 tennis courts, 10 pickleball courts, 5 baseball fields combined with softball fields, basketball courts, soccer fields, our beaches, of course, and our ice rinks. That really makes up the bulk of what we have to maintain on a daily basis, season to season. Real quick on the operations and operating budget. So the Parks Department budget, really think about it as covering any maintenance related activities outside of the 4 walls of our building. So everything that was listed on the previous slide is what's captured under our Parks Department budget. That's going to be salaries, supplies related to all the care for our amenities in our parks, as well as contractual services that we utilize. The workload that we do is carried out both by staff and contractors. Really depends on the type of work, the time of the year, and our capacity. And tonight we're going to really kind of cover those major areas. So I want to be clear that we're going to cover the things that we can count on that we're going to be doing every single year, no matter what. What this isn't going to capture is the work orders that come through, the special projects, the emergency repairs, things like that. So what you'll see is something that you know we'll do every single year, and it's something that is recurring annually. I'm going to hand it over to Jared. He's going to kind of get a little bit into the deeper details for the parks maintenance operation.
Thank you, Kyle. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about is mowing turf grass specifically. It takes up a huge portion of what we do in the busy time of year. Typically speaking, it's from right about now, mid to late April, to as late as early December. It just depends how the leaves are falling, how many leaves we have to clean up and whatnot. One thing to highlight here is we did, the past 3 years, switch over from contractual mowing to in-house mowing with the addition of 1 full-time staff member, which we get all year round, which is great. And then with the mowing, we cut every single park once a week. We do athletic fields twice a week. And then if there's any big special event, any rental, we can also do additional mowing there just to make the site look real nice for each event, rental, do litter picking, all that good stuff as well. We also have a shared services agreement with the village that we cut all of their properties. So like any village green, the police station, any island you see, parkways off of like the train station would be a great example. We cut all their grass and they provide us with a fleet maintenance program, which is basically all of their mechanics labor is in exchange for what we cut their grass. So we get 12 months out of the year equipment maintenance, and they get, April to November, December cutting grass. So pretty good deal on our end, but I'm sure they don't mind it as well.
Question.
And
You
Yeah.
said there's one in-house person, so one person does all the mowing?
So to clarify, one person does not do all the mowing. Before we had contractors doing it, they would do like the bulk of the parks, where we would take care of all athletic fields, all village properties, like the really high priority stuff. And they would do like all of the more passive parkland, like Vernon, the properties off of Green Bay and Old Green Bay Road,
Yep.
where now we control everything. So it's about 2 to 3 people full-time cutting grass. Yeah. Any other questions related to mowing?
Yeah, do we fertilize or do we not do that?
So we fertilize selective areas, and we'll talk about pesticides a little later too. We fertilize only at our athletic fields, and that's pretty much about it. Unless we're trying to get something growing, like for example, we redid the front lawn of Caulk many years ago when we had drainage improvements done. We did do some spot fertilizing to kind of ramp it up before the growing, before the growing season.
Okay.
But very, very selective.
In a few weeks, when the dandelions grow, everyone's gonna come to you and talk to you about the dandelions. And there's a strategy and they will chat with you about it.
Yep.
but
Yep,
You will
exactly.
be well protected in discussions about the dandelions, especially those along Vernon Avenue.
So I've never, oh, we can talk offline. I've never
No,
worked,
go ahead.
but I worry because of the owl,
The what?
the owl on
Okay.
Vernon.
We will chat about the owl personally
in the
later.
I don't know
She's
about
in
the
my
owl.
yard.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Okay. Any other mowing questions? No? Okay, we will move on. All right, so next on to landscape maintenance. Oh, sorry, you want to go ahead on
Okay.
this one, don't you?
Well, perfect segue on the grouping of questions. So I want to speak quickly about our integrated pest management plan, which really covers the things that Gary and Commissioner Guzman were talking about. So our integrated pest management plan is really what guides our usage of pesticides in our parks. The goal of our usage is to minimize that usage as much as possible. We treat, as Jared mentioned, our athletic fields in areas that have been overrun by invasive weeds that are out competing more desirable species, whether that be our turf grass, clover, or things like dandelions. So the simplest way we've kind of said in the past is we don't treat a park just because there's some dandelions in it. Dandelions have some pollinator qualities that are valuable, but what we do treat is when invasive species like a lesser celandine or something of that nature starts to creep in and drown out those types of more desirable plant species as well as a turf grass. That's when we'll selectively treat those areas. But our goal is to minimize usage of pesticides in general. It is still something we use selectively. Yep.
That's great. I like that policy. But one of the invasives, I mean, they go back down, but they're popping up now. I don't know what they're called. We have them in our yard and they're a pain in the butt to pull out. They won't.
Yellow and flowering. That's the lesser celandine.
I mean,
So
those are- I don't-
yeah.
I heard they weren't here 15 years ago and now they're here, but those are a problem.
that is a problem. That's that's a perfect example of an area where we will treat it. And it's a problem that we are coming up with a plan to address at a larger scale long term. Right now, our goal is to capture and control what we can that's manageable while minimizing that usage in areas.
Uncontrolled problem in my yard. so
It's bad. Yeah, so
Certain areas that we're seeing
hard.
spots, spots, and you actually, if you go out in front, take a, in the
Yeah.
front of the building, you'll see white circles that's around that.
Oh,
They'll
okay.
treat those spots.
Yep.
We have noticed, as the staff has brought to my attention, some larger areas. So they're gonna bring a plan to me that may require us to do some
Some target. Yeah.
bigger plants, which may make the parks not look great for that first year, but then we'll replant and things like that. So we look at those plants, but we
Yeah,
are aware of
great.
that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, I don't even have a
I
solution.
assume when we do something like that's targeted, we put a sign up so people know.
We communicate, yes.
Yep, we
When we're using
flag.
Pesticides so people know it and signage,
Yeah.
yes.
we flag whenever we're applying them, and our applicators have all the licenses and are certified to do that work.
We do
So,
the same thing when we do athletic turfs and things like that. And we try to do those applications when kids are not.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm gonna let Jared go a little bit more
Sure.
into the weeds with the day-to-day management of this stuff.
Yeah, talking about landscape maintenance, next, we kind of break this up into 2 categories, contractual and non-contractual. So we do have landscape contractors, which are typically a 2-man crew who come in, again, starting now until, the end of our busiest time of year. They mainly do mechanical removal of weeds, cleaning beds, and they also provide labor for some other projects. And that's 90% of what they do. They also, first thing in the morning, every single day while beach season's going on, they'll go down to the beach before it's open. They'll blow off all the hardscapes, all the sidewalks, the sun shelters, the playground area, litter pick the entire area, and make sure that area looks nice for beach opening. The great thing about contractual labor is they can be surged during the busiest time of years, which is like coming up right now. And they can also be throttled back just via an email to them. You know, with a part-time or full-time staff member, I can't just say, hey, come in or don't come in. These guys, we can really control that. So that's what they do, as well as being, you know, professional landscapers. On the in-house side of things, again, we, like Kyle was talking about their integrated pest management program, we do very selective spraying. We also do some mechanical removals. But like I said, the grunt of the work is all physical removals from our contractors. So, yeah, any questions on this topic before we move on? Nope. Okay. All right, next we're going to go into tree care. And again, this is also broken up into two separate categories. We also have contractors on a contract for this, as well as we do in-house tree care. The majority of what contractors do are the very large tree removals, or the very, you know, the ones that are next to property lines or power lines, something we're certified or we're not comfortable with doing. We'll hire our contractor to do it based on that 3-year contract. They also do pruning. They'll do treatments, which we don't do. Like they'll do root treatments for fertilization, the stuff to, you know, keep our very few American elms still alive, you know, from the Dutch elm disease, as well as, you know, ash borer, if there's any ash trees left that we want to treat. And of course, some of the oak decline that you guys see out in the parks. You know, they haul logs for us to do stump grinding. So it's kind of a one size fits all for that. In-house, we'll do small to medium removals. We'll do pruning as well, stump grinding, log hauling, which we do take a good chunk of our hard oak logs and we turn it into firewood that we use at special events, as well as both fireplaces at the ice rink. And we do all in-house plantings. It's about 60 to 70 trees per year that we plant, which is a lot for us. We do all watering, all tree care on those small trees. And the biggest thing to highlight here is we have a GIS tree inventory, which is a geographic information system. It's basically an online living, breathing document of all our trees in our parks. So you have species, size, condition, risk level, the location that they're located at, all recorded, all can be changed and adjusted as the tree's life goes on. So yeah, that's what we have for tree care. Any questions on tree care? Okay.
Just when you
Yeah.
guys are with the tree nursery, when is that going in?
So we are currently working on doing that this spring.
Okay.
The village has set up a water service for us. We're in the process of doing the final completion on like the plumbing end of things,
Okay.
as
I
well
saw
as the,
some digging over
yep,
there.
yep. So they put in a 2-inch water service for us that they did. So if you guys don't know, the tree nursery is another collaborative project with the park district and the village, where we're going to have basically 10 trees this year. They'll have 10 trees this year as well. And every year we'll add 10. So half of the nursery will be ours, half will be theirs. So yeah, we'll be working on that this spring. All right, some other miscellaneous parks operations. So special events, again, that's a lot of what we do. July 3rd and 4th are big time users. You know, they're all hands on deck type of arrangement for myself, my entire team. The mud run, which is only a 2-hour event, probably takes anywhere from 5 to 7 days to set up and break down just for that event. Not complaining, it's really awesome, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. So just, you know, keep that in mind when we have awesome events, all the work that has to go into it from my team and everybody else in the park district. Garbage, we empty 95 garbage cans in this park district. We have 27 dog stations that go with them. During the peak season, we'll do 5 days a week, so every weekday. And with that, we'll also do both weekend days when the beach is open and when we're doing baseball prep. So 7 days a week in the peak season. In the off season, so like going back a few months ago, 1 to 2 times per week or as needed if the weather kind of, you know, gets warmer and nicer. And then the last part on here is in-season beach daily maintenance. So 2 to 3 times per week, again, in season, we run our beach groomer, which is a tow behind attachment for one of our tractors, which basically rakes out all the trash and the rocks in the actual sand area to about maybe an inch in size and bigger. We also, like I said, do that first thing in the morning, blow off all the hardscapes, litter pick every single day, just to make sure the beach looks great for opening. Then we also have rescue boat repairs and as well as repairs in the playground, the water toys that just pop up out of nowhere. Any questions on this section? All right. I'll open up this.
Before Jared hops into the discussion on how we maintain our ball fields, wanted to just touch real quickly on our agreement, our affiliate agreement with Glencoe Baseball Softball Association. So they're an affiliate organization, and we have an agreement with them, which basically provides our services for dragging, lining, striping, and prepping the fields. And they pay for all the direct costs related to that. So that'll be the labor hours as well as the direct materials. So turfus, chalk lining, paint, things like that. We really think we provide a pretty high level of service to GBSA. We prep for all games during the week and for the first games on the weekends. We make sure the fields are clear to their weeds and things before the preseason, and we have a really good relationship with them. We have a preseason meeting, midseason meeting, as well as a direct one-to-one contact between Jared and them for the daily field conditions. Jared can go into a little bit more detail about the daily and kind of ongoing work related to the ball fields.
So just kind of going off of what Kyle said, beginning of the season, which is starting this weekend, actually, we get the fields turned over. So basically tear up all the dirt, get some air into it, groom it out all nice, add any clay and any low spots like around pitcher's mound and home plate. We paint all the foul ball lines in the grass, do any edging, clean any weeds out, just get the fields ready for the season. Our typical game day prep for each game, we'll drag all the clay fields, we'll chalk all the lines, basically set it up entirely for a baseball game, which is like a quality of service, we call it. If there's any issues, if there's a rain out, if there's, basically a lot of water on the field, I'll communicate with one person through GBSA who they basically specify, and we'll be in contact 7 days a week to make calls for games. We provide as best service as we can. So if we can't do a full prep on the field, maybe we'll make recommendations on how we can make that field work for the day. So yeah, that's all we have on baseball. Any questions?
This also, this also will come up. We have great baseball fields. We do not have the best baseball fields, and it's sort of been a, decision about where to put our resources, but our baseball fields are great. But you will hear feedback about some of them, and some people are going to say, well, other towns have phenomenal ones and other towns don't have a phenomenal beach. So just keep that in mind as you hear these things. This is, it's a conscious effort that I think that we've made to create these in sort of the solid B+, A- range and not the A+ range that you may see in other communities.
I'm going to qualify that with saying that we have improved all of them, and West will be the last
Yeah.
one. So we do not have turf fields. So that's what some people may consider A+ field is a turf
Of course.
where you can get on all the time. We do not. So that's where you'll hear some of that. You'll also hear it at this time of year of like, you'll get a friend to call it, well, I want to get on the field now. They do the best within their ability, but we are not going to ruin a field for the whole season just to get one game on. For example, if we have rain throughout the night, Friday night, and there's games Saturday, we're not going to take 50 pounds of turfus to put it on the infield to get it ready for a game. That's a sure way to ruin a field for the whole season and so we've been really conscious of it. So they do whatever in their ability to do, but we're not going to ruin the fields just to get a baseball game on. So that might be a little bit difference. Sometimes they'll say, oh, it rained only in the morning. It's not ready at night. It really just depends on how much rain we've gotten over a period of time. So they have a whole system of whether they can get the baseball fields going or not. So,
Yeah, we do as much as we can for sure.
pardon me?
Do we ever rent the fields if GBA or if it's not being in use, do we ever rent the fields to some other organization?
If there's availability, but to be honest, there's not a lot of availability after we're done with it. And we also like to make sure there's time for community use. So we don't rent every single second of it, because we want to make sure that's available for free play also. Do you want Speak up.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done any outside rentals. And if we are, Kenilworth, KWBA is an organization who does, and they work with GBSA on that, and they've got some combined leagues. So that's an example where we treat them kind of, they have an agreement with us, but we treat them as an affiliate because Glencoe kids are playing in their travel leagues and some of their house leagues. So they will, but we turn down a lot of people. Obviously, there's quite a lot of teams, and they take a huge amount of strain on the field. So a lot of communities these days will have a field rotating out. We only obviously have so many fields because of the amount of play you put on it, obviously. So we don't.
Field maintenance over the years has dramatically improved.
Mhm.
I'll be honest, my son, who's 18, when he first playing in these fields, I have to say I was less than impressed.
Right.
And now I drive by and I'm kind of like wishing that my son was playing now because they're so much better, and especially the turf field. So
I do have to
kudos
say
to you
that.
guys all because it's
Yeah.
dramatically different.
Thanks, thanks for noticing that, because that has been effort to improve all these fields through the years, constant maintenance, bringing in specialists. When we did the Berlin field, I always make a joke, but the sod father from Comiskey Park came in to advise us how to keep the fields up to a higher condition. Just rotating it, we do a lot of work on the infields throughout the years. So not just waiting until they get so bad, we're constantly working on them and rotating them.
There will be someone that's gonna measure the height of the pitcher's mound. It happens every year.
You know, a lot of people, man. I don't know.
It's recreation.
No one complains to me. Who they finds you?
You have not been on the board for 7 years.
I sat in on a-
Right.
You have not been on the
I
board
sat
for
in
7
on a
years.
special
Just you
advisory
wait.
group and I was with the baseball crew. So
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard it.
Just
It's
you
a,
wait.
they are recreation fields. We always say that
Yep.
for recreation play. So
Yeah, no, but they have improved. When my son played, he's older, he's 20, West was a problem.
Big problem.
Big, like, where we were worried, like, the reason I was asking so much these questions, because like, if the fields aren't in good shape and the kids are playing on those fields,
Right, they
It-
trip and
you can
then.
get hurt.
exactly, they get injured.
Well, the ball, but
Yeah.
the bounce of the ball is a bigger deal than
Yeah.
that.
And right now, the West isn't in the best condition. That's why it's being redone. So
Yeah.
that'll close, as soon as this one opened, we'll close
I feel like
West
we've
and
fixed 'em.
get that going. So.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, real quick, very similar to GBSA, AYSO, the American Youth Soccer Organization, is our affiliate group for soccer in Glencoe. A very similar arrangement where they reimburse for direct costs, labor hours, and materials, which is primarily paint for the lines. But very similar arrangement where we meet preseason. There's ongoing communication, albeit less communication because soccer fields generally are a little more hands-off aside from the painting. But just wanted to highlight that we do have an agreement with them, and Jared will briefly talk about some of the maintenance related.
Yeah, so with soccer, like Kyle mentioned, it's a little more less maintenance, a little less maintenance, sorry. We do an initial lining of the field, which is basically measuring and marking everything out according to what AYSO is spec'd out for the season. And then we'll do a weekly lining every single week until the season's over with in early June, and then up again in fall. I also do have one-on-one communication with somebody from AYSO if there's any issues, if there's any poor field conditions, but thankfully, we don't really have those concerns. We have good drainage on our fields. We keep them mowed, we keep them lined, we keep them happy. So, yeah, any,
Just have a question as
Sure.
far as where the field, I know that AYSO plays at Central. Do they play anywhere else or is that the one?
yeah, so they have, what, four,
They have West, they have Southwell too.
Okay,
they play at,
Like
we call it
Watts,
Watts Soccer Field right across the pathway
okay.
from the ice rink. So there's just two locations currently.
Those two,
They've played
okay.
in other areas like at West and by the Sled Hill at South, but those are the two locations right now.
Okay.
Any other questions on soccer?
And a lot of those are partnerships with the school also because.
Yes.
the
We,
school
we,
would- Yep.
we do work with the school. The days that we do have to line, we have to start a little bit earlier just to get ahead of that recess time. Because we don't want to conflict with kids being out there and getting paint on their shoes and we don't want to have to deal with that stuff. So we'll start a little bit early on those days.
Some of those fields are actually on school district property.
Correct.
With the
Correct.
agreement, the three of us that work,
Yep.
organizations
You
work
guys
together.
coordinate.
Yep.
Okay. All right, now on to the seasonal stuff. So the first thing I'll talk about is basically startup of the ice rink and ice maintenance, or sorry, ice rink and ice making. So basically, my portion of this is making sure both rinks are clear. When the weather's appropriate, we'll fire up all the compressors, get that stuff going. And within a day or two, we could be making ice if weather conditions are good. It's usually a 2 to 3 day process. All hands on deck, my staff and some of Matt Walker's staff if needed. In 2 to 3 days, we'll have ice and we'll open on Black Friday. We've done it every year since I've been here for 10 years. So we'll keep doing that. Yeah, and then going into the in-season maintenance, basically every day we come in, I'll have a couple guys go there. We'll do ice edging along the boards that basically builds up that the Zamboni can't get to. We'll do any shaving or necessary flooding to basically keep the ice as level and consistent as possible for quality ice for our users. We also do some Zamboni maintenance, change the blade once a week, grease, do inspections on that, make sure all of our equipment's up to standard, do any necessary repairs throughout the season as well. And then of course, we got to talk about snow removal. It's very different every year, but we have all the cool toys. We have a broom here to broom all of our sidewalks and entrances. The one thing I do want to talk about here is our very, very hard efforts to keep that salt usage down. We do use rock salt in our parking lots. That's just something we have to do for safety. You see how people fly around in these parking lots every day, but we are using a new product. So like the entranceways at here at Takeif, as well as Weinberg and some other select areas, basically any entrance by a building, we're using a non-chloride based liquid ice melt. So it's not poisonous. It's not corrosive like rock salt is. It's supposed to be safer for pets. So that's something we're really trying to push, not using as much salt.
Does it work as well?
It works pretty good. So basically what they say is ideally you broom all of this away and then you'll finish it off with the spray. Because I'm sure you guys know if there's even rain on these bricks, they're slick. So we spray that down, it melts the little fine dust that's there, and then you're good to go. But does it work as well if there's ice buildup or freezing rain? Unfortunately, it does not. So we may have to pivot to use a bag salt with treatments in it and then some physical removal. So, but it works well for most snow events.
And you're switching because is it more corrosive, less corrosive?
Yeah, so the first reason we started doing it was all of the stuff that was getting tracked into the building. There's just white everywhere.
Yeah.
And we used a product called Entry, which was a little more expensive, but it didn't do that. I've since found a product about half the cost with the same benefits, less cleanup, not chloride based, and we've had good success with that too.
I love that you guys are looking to that because I think it adds to as long as people aren't slipping, it adds to the longevity of those bricks.
Of course.
Adds to the longevity of,
Carpets, the
yeah.
doors, yep.
Yes.
Okay, so next I'll kind of cluster these together. Beach and boat house facility, winterization and startup, as well as all of the parks, irrigations and drinking fountains. Basically, before the winter time, we need to make sure all those water lines are clear. So basically blow compressed air through all of them, take out any sensitive plumbing parts like backflows, some water meters, above ground plumbing that holds water so it doesn't freeze and break, take it back into storage, do what we need to do for winterization. And then basically starting now, putting that stuff all back out into those facilities, irrigation systems and drinking fountains, getting it live for, the nice time of year. So yeah, any questions on this topic? Okay. Any questions overall from the presentation?
Guys do so much, and it's all behind the scenes. But I think our residents really appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate that too.
I know when I come in here and I'm like, oh, why, we're spending so much money on these flowers and this and that. But the truth of the matter is everyone loves it. And people love the flowers. People love having their,
Beautification.
it's beautiful. I have not heard of a complaint yet about, hey, the driveway wasn't plowed before Children's Circle, or we felt unsafe. So I think you guys are sort of unsung heroes.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
The residents really appreciate it.
We're very
have a
proud of the
question,
fact
though.
that we always get our buildings open.
Yeah.
Really, rarely close.
I do have a question. You mentioned that there was a plan for the dandelions. Is it because it's what was that?
There's not really a plan for the
Strategy.
dandelions.
It's the
They're there for a
idea-
reason. It's because they're,
It's the idea that they're not going to, use pesticides. It's expensive. It's
okay.
bad
not
for the
great
environment.
And he was saying there's a value to having them as well. So it's like, people don't like the way they look, but other than that,
I just want to know, just because someone asked, I just
Oh, so
you
you-
mentioned.
you'll get next.
What he's saying is you'll get calls and I get calls and Kyle gets calls when the dandelions pop. Can't you get rid of them? When the answer is no. We limit the amount of pesticides we use in our parks. The dandelions are very beneficial for bees. And we
And
we
you're
will-
mowing.
and we're mowing and we mow them down,
Right.
you know, but do they, when they first pop and, doesn't look the most attractive, but they'll get mowed within a
That's
week.
the only, that's the
and,
only
you
issue.
know,
They're
so-
unsightly, and if they're on baseball fields or soccer fields, people will trip, which is why they're treated.
Yeah.
But like they're,
Yeah.
other than being unsightly, there's minimal.
That's fair. I just want to know the answer.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
You just want more.
Want more flowers?
We like that
Here's what's more fun.
I do want more flowers.
Noted.
amount of that, so.
Noted.
Speaking, wait, I do have one question. Do you guys, who takes care of like there's like certain areas in Glencoe that are designated, and I cannot remember the name of them, like,
Oh, the water drainage, the taller thing?
yeah, the water drainage, but also like the area right by South School, which is kind of like this forest area.
That's ours.
That
Oh,
is
those areas, those natural areas?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Everly Dietz and,
Yeah.
yeah,
and
those
then
are
the other
ours.
one That's down by Skokie Country Club.
Yep,
Those are ours?
yes,
So do those get treated differently?
yes. Those are natural
Oh.
areas, so there's a lot less, treatment in those. So it's supposed to be left wild. I don't know, you could speak.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
that.
so
You do the
those, that's a
patrol
great
runs
question.
every
Tho-
once in a
Yeah,
while,
those
too.
two areas are under our stewardship, one of our contractual services, and they're managed through prescribed burns as well as direct manual removal by Pizzo and Associates is the contractor. And so they're meant to be natural areas that are free of those invasive species. So yes, we do maintain those in a natural way.
It's supposed to look very natural on purpose.
Right.
Well, let's end this with the most appropriate question I think you all will get from the neighbors. When are we bringing the goats back?
I have an email out to Kim, the goat farmer. Likely it would be coordinating for a fall visit again.
Need,
Yes.
Glencoe needs the goats.
So we do need the
Ew.
goats.
We need the goats,
Love the
so
Wait,
let's,
I hope there's still stuff for the goats to munch on.
as soon as I hear back from Kim, we'll get a date on the books.
the
So,
most
yeah.
important
People love
park
that goats.
maintenance that we have,
Yeah.
the goats.
The goats.
Okay,
Anything else?
anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, good. Hey, thank you again. Really, really appreciate it. Let's move on while we still have you up there. Kyle, if you will discuss some proposals for the Friends Park Architect Design Services proposal. I think that's,
For Friends,
did I say what is Friends Park?
Friends Park.
Yeah.
Yep, you got it right. They're all good.
Good.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Take your time.
RBI did.
RVI.
Equalize those two things. Upland was still $25,000 less than RVI Hitchcock. We also feel that Upland did a phenomenal job with the community input related to the beach. Great, interaction with the board to solicit their thoughts. And so really for those two things, it was a pretty easy recommendation from staff to recommend going with Upland. But happy to answer any questions related to.
Why was RVI planning chose? Did we ever have a relationship with them?
So we had worked with Hitchcock previously. RVI bought out Hitchcock
Gotcha.
last,
Yeah.
I think last summer.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounded like they did the lakefront, like the
Mhm.
bluff
Got it.
one, right?
The
did-
Lakefront Park, that small playground.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
other playgrounds
West-
throughout our
West Park is
system.
the-
West Park, yeah.
Big-
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy with Upland.
Yeah, they did
Um,
good.
I
They
do
did a great
too.
job.
I was
Yeah.
wondering why RVI, but I
Yep.
get it. Okay.
So you know that we're planning on for May committee to do the Friends Park visioning. So similar to what we did for the beach playground. Upland will come in and do a visioning, like what the vision for the board to have in this playground. We'll talk through some of that stuff, and then after that, we'll do community input. So that we're planning on that taking place at the May committee meeting.
Okay.
So put that on your calendar. If
Yeah,
you're
that'd
really
be-
interested in
that'd
that, to
be
meet them.
good.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. This is the start.
One
the
of
ball
my
rolling.
daughters, really, the youngest, really wants to come to whatever the community.
Okay,
involvement is for
and we'll get
10.
those dates out. Those are going out soon.
Well, if that's the case, then maybe we will do like with Milton Park where someone suggested a spa. Didn't someone ask for us to put in a?
We had a lot of
was it-
things.
was there a
Zip line?
kid that
Usually
came in
there's-
and drew like
We had a drawing. I remember.
someone had a drawing.
I wasn't
of
on
like
the
a
board yet, but I
spa or
sat in the meeting.
Yeah.
So kids' input is the most important.
We do love
I
that.
They tend to use it the most. And quite frankly, with friends, even the middle schoolers.
I know.
Yeah.
Even the middle
Yeah,
school
even the
kids.
middle, I was gonna
We
say
should
the
get a
kids use it,
representative
yeah.
or two from the
They
mission.
should.
That's it.
They will come naturally.
They'll come naturally, don't worry.
Yeah, they'll come naturally.
That's the hardest. I think you're gonna find that's gonna be the hardest playground we have to design
Yeah.
because we're designing it for
So many
little
groups.
kids to junior high in a very tight space and people use it,
Yep.
when they come over for coffee. So you might have 3 different age groups playing on that playground at one time. So it's a challenge for the architects too. So
And it's come such a long way. I was talking
Yeah.
to Lisa about it. I remember when we first moved to town, for those that have been here a longer time, it was monkey bars
Sand.
and
Sand.
like the sand and the wood chips.
Yeah.
So.
And no one went there.
No
Like,
one
we
went
were the only ones when we went there once and I was underwhelmed. I didn't go back.
yeah,
um,
that's a lot of our playgrounds. Now they're all amazing. So
Yeah, yeah.
great. So we'll move that onto consent agenda for the next board meeting to approve Upland and start that work. Perfect.
Excellent. Well, thank you again for your hard work there. I know it is just beginning.
Yep.
Well,
Finish
let's
one.
go to other businesses, maybe a little bit longer discussion, the Lakefront Park and
Maybe
Beach Operations Update. Executive Director Lisa Shepherd could provide an update on the ongoing discussions with the public and the village regarding the parking issues at Lakefront Park and the beach. We'll also provide an update of design for the Glencoe Beach House improvements, and I know a lot of work went into that as well, so appreciate
Yep.
all of the hard work behind the scenes.
Excellent. So I sent yesterday emails because these been ongoing discussions and this hasn't appeared to the public because these are still ongoing discussions. But I just want to bring you up to date with the villages considering for some of the parking issues that we have encountered. And I say we because it's our facilities that are bringing everybody to that area. So after having a community meeting and also talking internally and taking emails and things like that. So these are some of the planned improvements. Again, not all of them may be implemented right away, and they still have to bring it to the village board and they have to make these decisions. But what they're thinking for a parking update is designate striping to delineate the parallel parking spaces so that it will be clearly defined the spaces on Longwood Avenue, Hazel Avenue, and Beach Road. So hopefully that will stop people from parking in front of people's driveways. You think that would be intuitive? Apparently it's not. So we need to put those lines. Designate no parking zones, for example, Beach Road from Lakewood to that dead end. Update signage in these areas. Paint curbs red, that's still, I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's something they threw out there. We'll see if that happens to say that's no parking areas. If not, they'll find a different way to do that. And designate clear drop-off zones with signage and street markings. So those are some of the parking updates. The signage updates is we really want to get people to overflow into the commuter lots. So we're going to do some signage to indicate that. Creation of a parking map, and that parking map would go out to everybody who has a season pass on our website. You Google information about Glencoe Beach, we would have a parking map there to send people to those overflow parking areas. We're going to update, this is not really about parking, but we're updating, what you saw, I sent you, update park signage to reflect specific rules and issues that we've been having at Lakefront Park, along with our hours of, the park's only open from sunrise to sunset. Yeah, and then it closes. Add QR codes to, which already is done to all of our parks signage that you can directly report park issues. So if there's a garbage can overflowing, believe it or not, we may empty a garbage can, an hour later it'll be full, and they're not making that round again, where they don't have someone standing there all the time. They can easily report that, do that QR code, and we send people out to take care of that. Really promote, this is actually a whole village initiative, see something, say something. So if they see if people, the residents see something in the park that doesn't look right, they should say something. So we'll have a QR code that can report things right to us if it's non-emergency. If it's emergency, obviously we have it for 911. So we're asking, if you see something that doesn't look right, please report it to us. And that's village-wide. We're looking at the beach ramp, because there's some concerns about people driving too fast on that. So we're gonna add stop signs, at the halfway house. So they'll be forced to stop at that portion. We're gonna provide clear warning signs at the top of the stairs, and then coming down Park Avenue regarding vehicle traffic in the area.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Because cars aren't allowed down, like,
So-
from the public, so what, are we having issue? And I do know we have our golf cart, but I'm assuming that
So-
person knows how to drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do allow, cars down there for ADA accessibility. So those are our
We have
ADA.
issues with them flying down a lot?
I don't see many, but we've had a couple reports. Someone said they driving too fast.
Because I
Um,
don't know how much sign, I just don't,
Yeah, we have had
Yeah.
complaints, they saying they're
Okay.
too fast. That's why the stop sign will go in. We're just gonna,
okay.
at
I
the,
just
at the
don't want too many
community,
cluttered signs
yeah,
all over.
at the
Yeah.
community meeting, people
it's
were
not
really
feasible.
adamant, a couple people, not, and this is not only a couple people saying this, that they feel people are gonna get hit on the ramp because people are driving, they don't know cars are there. So we'll put them, they met today to about ramping. So we're gonna put them in select spots. We're not
There
gonna
are
put too
issues
many.
with too fast on the ramp by.
Occasionally,
Yeah.
not always, occasionally. That's why we think the stop sign will help. We're just gonna warn people, hey, there are cars coming up here we're gonna put, there's gonna be they're gonna stripe a walking lane going down,
Okay.
just to help with that.
Okay.
So we have, I don't think it's a rampant problem. We
Okay.
just have one,
Rampant.
I thought you'd like that one. We do have some local people saying that. We'll put speed limit signs, because right now there is not, so we'll put a speed limit sign. I think it's 15 miles an hour or something. 5, yeah.
Five.
So
I
you're
hate
gonna go really slow.
Nope. Wish it speed bumps.
And then we have, so that's where we're looking at
They
that.
force it with a speed bump.
We actually we suggested that because we have speed
Yeah.
bumps in here.
Yeah.
They would like to try first the stop sign to see if that stops it, and then put speed bumps, because they have the water plant employees go up and down with trucks, and you go over
That
those
would be
with
too
big trucks, it's
jolly.
like boom, 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 boom.
Mhm.
So
And
they'd like
strollers too.
and
If you're pushing a stroller up the hill over a
strollers and
speed
things
bump,
like
it can
that.
be a
So
challenge.
yeah,
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
It
just
will-
don't want
there-
us to get lost
not
with like
gonna
all
be-
these signs.
we feel you too, and it's not gonna be too many. We're gonna be
Okay.
conscious about that.
Okay.
The village ordinance they're gonna clearly define the rules regarding angled and parallel parking. And destination of location, Lake Park Park, where, they're gonna enhance the fines. So they're gonna bump up the fines for illegally parking.
Okay.
Which hopefully will help. Before it was what, $25? And I think I think
And do
they,
they enforce, like, 'cause don't
Yeah,
we
they
only
do.
have 20, how much, like, can these people who are doing those violations, can they just decide to not pay it?
No,
Okay.
so
The
I think
village is
what
different.
came up was park districts own a lot of the land where they have parking lots in some of the other communities. And the park districts had, I think, a 10% collection rate.
Okay.
But the village has more ability to collect. So I think they said in the meeting, they they put it out to collections. So they do have more power, but Wilmette Highland Park, they told us they had
They don't.
very limited success in collecting, but they own those lots versus the village is
Okay. So the
responsible for.
village will be enforcing.
oh,
it.
this is all village enforcement.
Okay.
This is parking issues there.
Yeah.
And so right now, when you have a fine of $25, they're just like, oh, that's what I pay in the city. I'll pay it. So, so they're jumping that up, and I'm not sure that they have not decided the amount yet, but they're gonna increase that a little bit. They're looking at expanding the community safety officers to include weekends, stronger enforcement of violations by public safety. In the future, if we need to, we don't see it as a need right now. There's possible during the off season. So this not in season, we don't see it. There's more of a traffic problem actually off season than in season. So after Labor Day.
Like around September, October.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a possibility, if we need to add additional enforcement, we'll work out a deal with the village to cost share that. So but we're not to that point yet.
Right. Yeah, we don't
Especially
have
this
to
year
worry.
with construction and everything like that. So we'll evaluate that if needed, but that might be something we'll
And is
come back.
there
to.
a way to potentially look at the weather forecast and like, let's say if it's above 60, then you know in advance to maybe reach out? Is there, could you
Yeah,
think there could be a program? set up
Yeah,
like
I'm
that?
sure that's what we,
Yeah.
it's again harder, which is just like us, if you put staff on a schedule and then you call them
Oh,
off
that's
all the
right.
time.
Yeah, so it's not a
Okay.
contract.
So
Yeah, yeah.
work on that.
Okay.
Um, so right now, the village has their parking that it's in season, it's dawn to 10 PM. Actually it's year round that you're allowed to park there till 10 PM. The park district ordinance is dusk to dawn. Right, dawn, I mean, dawn to dusk, our park's open. So say in October, if it's dark, really you shouldn't be in those parks at that time, but you can still park there till 10 o'clock. So there in the future, they may consider of changing that timing, that parking timing, or at least taking that sign down because there's no other signs in town. So
Or switch it seasonally.
we switch it seasonally
Yeah.
because during the season, we have, you can use our parks if you're permitted. So if we're renting out the trellis past dark, past dusk, that's okay, it's permitted. So we want the parking to be able to be there till 10. We
Yeah,
usually
I
do not
would-
go past
yeah,
10.
I also like the idea, especially like you said, in the in-season to have for the, at the, I don't think the dawn is as much of an issue, but I really prefer to have a time. I just think that for people, that'll
Yeah.
be clear. I also think, again, it's easier to enforce and we should enforce, like, we should, like, then we could have our police force know, like, go around, make a round after 10. If there are any cars there, tell them it's time to
Well,
go.
again, the parking is their enforcement, so that's a rule for 10. All of our parks are dusk to dawn. It just makes it easier for
Yeah.
all of our parks.
But, okay, so for the lakefront park, so that I understand, the parking right now is nobody can park there after 10 o'clock?
Correct.
Right, okay.
Yep.
But there's, so then we would just take out the sign that says dusk till dawn to use the park?
Nope.
During
our-
the
The
season?
our
park will be dusk to dawn.
And it always have, that's always been an ordinance, nothing's changing.
Oh, we wouldn't change that to 10, just to
No.
match?
Everything's dusk to dawn unless you're permitted to do it.
I just feel like that adds fuzziness, you know, it.
I
would
think
be
it's
like I
fuzziness
can
on the
park there,
parking
but I
side.
can't go
I think, yeah,
into the
it's a
grass.
parking issue is how I think about it, not so much an operational
Yeah.
issue on our end.
Yeah.
So an example I think of people who live there and they have guests and that has nothing to do with the park. They
Oh,
can
okay,
park there.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah, so they
So-
could park in those spots and go
Right.
to into their
Right.
house, but they just can't be in the parkland.
You can also, correct me if I'm wrong. If you want to park there at 9 PM and go for a walk,
You're fine.
Correct.
you're
Yeah,
allowed to do
okay.
that. So it's like, we need to
Yeah.
be
Yep,
No,
cognizant of things like
right.
that.
that makes sense.
yeah,
Okay.
I've done that. I mean, I just wouldn't want to change our operations
Right.
because of how the village is handling parking.
Right. And so we're not recommending any changes. Right now, our parks are open from dusk to dawn. Dawn to dusk,
On the dusk.
dawn to dusk, unless it's permitted to be later. So.
Yeah, I think we're gonna
we don't-
see this as an iterative process, like,
100%.
just like we kept the beach open for an hour
Yeah.
later
Yeah.
this year, we're gonna see how these things
Yep.
work and how these things flow.
Yep.
So
then for our operations, as the board had talked, I just want to reiterate it that we're going to expand it 1 hour to that we have staff charging for the passes. So that we're hoping that the free for all to get into the beach free at 7 o'clock kind of wanes down. They go someplace else and there's less people visiting. We manage that control of people coming into the park at that point. And that will include the postseason, which is Labor Day. Again, after Labor Day this year, it's going to be close to the swimming beach is going to be close to the public after Labor Day. The boating beach will still be open, but the swimming beach will not. And then the boathouse will remain open till October 11th. And then we're working on how we're going to control the access to boaters into the boating beach. So we're working on that right now. And so then we will continue to evaluate, see how it goes this year. These are a lot of really great changes. Will we still have parking issues on those? Yeah, just like we have downtown. If there's event, we're just trying to drive people to the metro station. So we'll have we'll put signage at the beginning of the park, like, so as you circle around in front, it'll say overflow parking, go to the metro lot, that type of thing, so that we encourage people and show the neighbors we're trying to get people to go other locations.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but on the weekends, the Metro lot is free.
Yeah,
it's free after 9 o'clock. as well during the weekdays.
Yeah.
9.
I thought it was
8.
9.
10 a.m.
10,
Yeah.
yeah,
But,
I understand,
like,
yes.
yeah.
But when the beach is open, when we get popular, it's all free. So all that's free. So we just have to get them
Just
down there.
maybe a suggestion. I think that would be an incentive for people to consider, you know what, I can walk 3 blocks,
Yeah,
kind of
free
like
parking.
free parking, right? Like you do it in Chicago all the time.
Yep, and that's what we're gonna do in our communication when we put it out to our pass holders or people that are buying dailies or on our website. The Village is the new same thing. We're
And
just
the
gonna say,
Google
hey,
Maps, when I looked it up, and so you may want to include this in signage. I mean, you confirm with the whatever I'm saying right now, because I looked it up a few days ago. I think it said 12-minute walk or 11-minute. I mean, it was something right in there where it's really not long.
it's
not-
not long at all.
Yeah, just a walk, yeah.
Long when you have all that
It's a,
stuff in your
it's a
hand,
long
little
way,
kids.
you drop the stuff off. The
Yeah,
the
and we'll have the
fact
drop
is
off
that
zones.
if
Yeah.
humans, and there's a phenomenal book on it.
Yep,
If you
there
wanna
is.
Read this book, I'll suggest it for you, but humans want to have the parking that is closest to where they're going.
Oh.
That is free. So if there is a spot that is free 2 seconds away, they will wait for 15 minutes to get that spot versus walk 5 minutes.
There's
for
a
their
whole
spot.
parking lot thing about
Yeah,
shopping. If you
it's-
wait 10 minutes, you serve
Yeah,
10
it
minutes.
is. This book is fascinating.
It's
The
fascinating.
Glencoe Library has it. I've read it.
I-
Um,
But you bring up something, sorry, don't mean to interject, but I just remembered something that about, oh, look,
What did I do?
what did you do? About people dropping off. I do it all the time. Like family comes in, you do a big drop off, they're going to spend the day there or whatever. Does it make sense? This may be a question for you, Bobby. This is going to sound kind of dumb, but hear me out. That there's additional staff, and I'm thinking like high school kids that literally are like the concierge. So instead of what I often see, and they talked about it at the meeting, is there's that backup of traffic where people are trying so hard, to his point, where they're trying to park because they want to drop everything off and they don't want to walk. But is there something that we can avoid that by having high schoolers literally do this concierge? We designate a drop off here, kids all help bring stuff down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's absolutely possible. It's just expensive,
Expensive.
right? It's expensive. The one thing I will caution with the drop-off lanes, they're great until you have 4 or 5 cars in a row.
Right,
And now
yeah.
it blocks up the whole, so,
That it's,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really-
Mhm.
I mean, that's why I bring it up because like everything that's outlined makes sense.
Mhm.
But I remember from the meeting, they mentioned something about when you have the 4 to 5 cars and there's a drop off, and I actually was thinking about this for our camp drop off. You know, how do you mitigate some of that? And is there something that we could do that has nothing to do with parking, but has to do with the fact that we may cause a traffic jam inadvertently?
You can do anything, but again, it costs money. So, and, so we're talking minimum $15 an hour. You need more than one kid, then you
Yep.
need 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Now we're responsible for all that,
Right, there's
all that,
liability.
all that liability, all that other stuff. What if they lose something? It's not as easy as you think. It's a great idea, but it's expensive to do. You can do it. Four Seasons does it, right? They just bring everything out there,
It's
but
the same reason why we don't take people's overhead bags and put them in
Mhm.
bins. We would board so much faster if we were to do that. And there's a return on that, but there's liability issues there. It's expensive.
do that, yeah.
I know.
We have looked at it, trust me.
I mean,
We have looked at it.
But that's some of the stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
that you have to, we could do anything,
We
but
can
it's
do- we-
expensive and.
Do a
Yeah.
shuttle from the train station.
That's a,
So
again,
that-
expensive
Expensive.
proposition.
Can I,
And there's,
can I tell you that,
Yeah, I know. I'm saying if we're gonna spend money, there's a million things we could do is more
Yeah.
my point.
the shuttles, it's very interesting because, I've seen this with festival. Very few people use shuttles.
Yeah, no, I am sure.
They don't want to. So you're paying a gas.
Shovels. I
Glencoe
never,
trolley
shuttles,
in
never.
the
Yeah,
spirit
they
of-
just circle around, the gas is
People wanna
going
use the
and,
shuttle.
yeah,
Really nice.
and that's most people, they don't like to use the
It's out of
shuttles.
control with the timing.
Yeah.
it is about 2,200 feet.
Yep.
It is about, according to ChatGPT, it's about a 7 to 12 minute walk.
Right.
It is.
It is,
shortest walk.
people
It's not that hard.
people will not do it because there is the potential of a 2 minute walk. So
The one thing, and I mean, again, I don't think
Anomaly.
it's
I like
really in our control. I don't know if this is the village that needs to enforce some more, but one thing that just really bothers me is when I hear that people's driveways, residents' driveways
Right.
get blocked. I I would like to see enforcement of especially that situation, because
I
I
think
feel like
the
it's
painted-
disrespectful.
painted curtains
Yeah.
will help.
Yeah, that's what they said.
But
It's
as
that
long
the
as we have
parallel
people, if someone's
lines.
Walking,
Yep.
I'm like, the blocking a
that's-
driveway. I know that's
the
not us.
village.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the Village's
Yeah.
job.
But
to
they
do
do
that.
have on their list that they
Yeah.
understand that that's a concern. And
Yeah.
that's why they're going to put those parallel spots in so that they're, you kind of, you see those lines and not there and then,
Yeah.
and more enforcement if people are blocking.
Forgive me if this was suggested, but are there, is a possibility of signs at the metro stations to say free beach parking?
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's-
That would
that's
put
what we
the-
talked
that would
about
put- That
also.
would put the
Yeah.
idea in their mind, like, oh,
Yep.
I'm driving
We-
around
I think it
screwing.
does say-
Actually totally
It
talked
isn't-
about that.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
to me is like a no-brainer.
there's a perception that it's not free parking, so they want to change that perception that it is available parking.
I'm sorry, so you agree?
Yeah,
we're on the same
there is
page, right?
the village
Yeah, so you're
acknowledges.
saying-
there's
Yeah, it's a
there's
perception.
we-
It's- I-
perception.
the only
We
reason
think
I
that's a
know
great
it's
idea.
not free is 'cause I live here.
Yeah.
So Gary, I wouldn't, I don't have a problem saying free beach parking after 11 AM or whatever the time is called, 10 AM. But really, the village needs to work on that as a problem. It is free parking after 10 AM if you
Yeah.
want to go to the Writers Theater, if you want to go
Yeah.
downtown, if you want to go to the library,
Right.
if you want to go to the beach, if
Go
you
to the
want to
park.
go to the park.
Yep.
So like they have to make
Free
it
parking,
pretty,
yeah, whatever it
they have
is,
to
yeah.
make it pretty clear that
Yeah.
it's just free parking to any human being after 10 AM.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
any
they're right about that,
Yeah.
yeah. I was only concerned because the beach is our responsibility,
Yep.
so.
But yes, that's something we suggested also. Like, if we're going to do that, why don't we put a sign down
You
there
want to
too?
put it
So
into
people
people's brains and then
Yeah.
as they're driving around, like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'll go a block away,
Right.
2
And
blocks
walk.
away.
Free, free parking, beach only is a 7-minute walk. So the way signage and stuff like that. So, Yeah.
Like, these are really good improvements.
so I think they're going to be good
I
improvements.
agree.
Happy about that. We'll be sending a letter out to the neighbors and anybody who attended the meeting, a joint letter with the village on their improvements and our improvements, just so we get that
Yeah.
out.
When is that going out?
It'll probably go out in the next couple of weeks. Yeah. I also put in I sent you the Lakefront Park rule sign. As you know, we have conduct ordinance 700 that is about this thick, that has all the rules of the park. So we went through the Lakefront rule sign to trying to pinpoint what is the most thing people complain about and put those on the rule sign. And then also have the QR code that goes right to the other rules so that they can read them all if they'd like. But what we're seeing is like, we don't want littering, we don't want fires, grills, things like that in the park. No alcohol, no marijuana. Pets aren't on the playground, but pick them up after them. Watch your own children. Hunting or firearms, believe it or not, we have to say that. Metal detectors, we have to say that. So we put kind of the things that we see are high, things that people continually try to do in that park, and then put the fine there. And then we have say something on there too. So if anybody has to help us, I know some people say, well, we don't want to do that. Well, it's just being a good neighbor. The police and we can't be everywhere all the time. We need everybody's help to create a safe community. With that said, we had great discussions with public safety, and actually the amount of violators is actually not very high at all.
I didn't
It's
think it
like-
was.
There's not really you think you hear all this and there's this big problem. There's really not. They don't have many issues at all at the beach or at the park. So we're happy to report that too. So, okay.
Question, these rules, do they apply only to Lakefront Park or is it?
No, these are rules for all parks, for all parks. And we're gonna be, as we go through the rule sign of each park, gonna try to designate which park rules we should post at each park.
Oh.
But conduct orders 700, it's on our website. You have it in your
Okay.
board. We gave that to you, says all the rules of the park. But yes, these are the rules. These are these are standard for every park. Yeah. We don't allow drones in the park. Don't like, you're not supposed to be hitting golf balls because you can hurt people, things like that.
I didn't even think.
Unbelievable. So, any other questions on that? Okay. Can you throw up? Thanks. The next one is that, we met with our, design team, the white design team, on taking back feedback from the board from the last meeting. We invited, Megan and Nicole to come to the meeting too, because we could only have 2 commissioners there to help to see if we're right on point so we could keep this moving along. And so I did send this to you in the packet, but we're going to put it up here. So just give 1 second for that. That's the end of it. Okay, so pretty much this is outside. You can go to the next one, Kyle. Okay, so this is where the major changes happen. If you see that block behind the reception area, it used to be a glass block, and now it's this terracotta.
Oh, it's so pretty.
It's so pretty if anybody
I
wants
do
to
have a
touch
question
this.
for you. Is it, one of the goals, is there gonna be glass behind that?
Nope,
Because I thought, I assumed, maybe I'm wrong, the glass was partially for sound. To have privacy back there?
not so much that, it was more about a sight line to give them a little more
Okay, well, it's
privacy.
obviously significantly better. I just was saying I didn't feel.
No.
Okay, right,
Yeah, we're not worried about that.
fantastic.
So then we put more tiles up around the doorways, a little more color. It's very pretty. So there's examples here. If anybody wants to see those, go to the next one. The floor remains the same. This one pretty much remained the same. There wasn't any changes in here. We talked about a great deal about the beams on the ceiling. There's really, we're going to go with the, what's it called? The vinyl.
The 3M product.
Yeah, product to
wrap,
go over
yeah.
it because with this application, if you put wood veneer over it, because we fluctuate from hot to cold, it's going to
It'll.
fall down. This
Yeah.
is not heated at all, and this will actually withhold much better. The other option is to paint it. We feel this will be the best option.
And she
Okay.
added a few nice details where she added
Yeah.
the designer, like the strip around.
Thank you.
And it's like a metal.
Yeah, yeah.
There were some small little things that just
Small
kind of, I
things.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Forgot about that. Yeah. Make it pop. And then the bathroom really changed. So this is a lot of good info from the board. So we put the tiles on there, different colors. These are the colors on there. The mirrors change shape, and that was Nicole's idea. That was a great idea. That it just takes it from institutionalized to this, to very little higher end. So we've got the round mirrors. So those are the big changes in there. Pretty, isn't it?
It's very
Yeah.
pretty.
Very excited about that. It's a great input, very great input. I think it really elevated the project a lot. So thank you to you two for coming to the meeting, and giving all those ideas, and you for color, a little more color.
Because
Awesome.
not my jam. So very much
You can
appreciated.
point to us if anybody can. point
Not
to-
my
Yeah,
jam.
exactly. No, I don't think anybody's
No,
going to
no, no.
complain. This is gorgeous. It really
It's really
elevates it.
beautiful.
It's,
Lisa, I have a question. I just realized something. You guys have a fan in there. Do we have fans in all of the spaces, or is it just going to be in the bathrooms?
in the bathrooms, I believe, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I had a
Good
random,
idea.
I had a random thought, but, obviously, when you go to the airports now, you see a lot of like them just like one long, like
Trough.
trough, and it's on an angle and just very clean, and it remains, it's less touching.
Yeah.
So I wonder if for a
And it's
beach
all automated,
situation.
which is really nice.
I believe those are automated sinks.
Right, I'm just saying,
Already.
I mean, I like this look, of course, better, but is it more practical to have it become that more that airport style, just because the beach is a mess? You guys know better than I do.
I think this will stay cleaner.
I got
There's a little
so I'll
donation.
tell you why I love the troughs idea. And I can't help but think of Wrigley, but what I actually don't like about the troughs for a place like this is you will see.
Yeah.
I kid you not, you will see parents like wash their kids off in it, like
Yep.
babies.
That's what I'd be afraid of.
Oh,
You would see people washing their
Okay,
bathing suits.
I
in
get
it,
you.
Right
like,
about that.
It would
Oh
be,
my
it would.
That's-
it
I
would
was
be
going to
like a
say
thing.
exactly the same thing. They would totally
It's
try
like
to.
the laundry sink downstairs.
No, that's a good point.
I mean, you would definitely see like
I
a
visually
parent
like
like
troughs.
holding a kid under.
I get it, I get it.
But yes, they would do that for sure.
But
You
these
can
are
tell it's like-
automatic. She said we asked that
Yeah.
question. So
Sure,
they're,
it's on a menu,
yeah.
just-
With the changes, is there a big price difference?
No, not that much.
Okay, so this is something that we are constantly seeing problems of people throwing paper towels down toilets in my line of work, and it clogs toilets very quickly, and they're very difficult to clean out. Hand dryers, or are you using towels here?
Hand dryers would be the recommendation. They use more energy, but it's gonna be better than having a plumbing issue.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
it is-
environmentally sound, and
More
so we have moved to that.
Thank you, and people will,
Make a
they will
mess.
throw them in the toilets.
And it'll
and
look
it is-
cleaner. They'll be on the floor, I mean,
Mhm.
especially here. I just,
We switched to that about God, 8 years ago to
Mhm.
the dryers, yeah. At the beach. And in this building, we have paper towels.
Yeah.
Thank you. And seriously, thanks to you, Megan. Cole, I know
Yep.
it is not easy, especially with a party of 5 of us in our opinions here. I think it's a lot easier when 2 people who have a talent
Just
can
from
get
there.
together and
Yeah.
come up with something that looks really.
And I know Jackie gave them ideas too,
Yep.
so
Good.
that was
And we
good.
incorporated, yeah.
Good.
I was thrilled with White because they were very, very responsive
that's
to
what I was gonna
anything
say.
we
I thought
sent.
they
They
were
were so,
very
they understood
Mhm.
exactly what you're saying and came
Yeah.
back the first try. So that was huge. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
I think that terracotta is
yeah.
beautiful.
So, and they're really excited to use this too. By the way, it makes a big difference. So
It's really
I think
pretty.
that was you that wanted like something like that. That was awesome.
Hey.
So beautiful. So we're excited. So we do
think
not need to vote on this at all. Your approval here, consensus, great.
Yep.
They're going to go and now they're developing the design specs and getting ready to
Yeah.
go out to bid and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. We'll move on with that.
That is.
Just a couple other things, just really quick. So, as I said, the May committee, we're going to do visioning and, talking about, Friends Park. If we have time after the visioning, we're going to walk you back to the maintenance to see the status of how that is. So we'll be working with daylight, but we think we'll have time to walk back there and show you that site. At the May board meeting, we want to do the greenhouse ribbon cutting. So what we're suggesting is that
The May one?
the May board meeting. What we're thinking is we'll start the meeting here. There's not a lot of business that day. It's our annual meeting. You have to start thinking if we want to be the president, vice president, the officers, and then present a report. But by 7:30, we'll head over to the greenhouse, do the ribbon cutting. We'll invite the people on the task force and have some hors d'oeuvres and drinks and stuff like that out there. So it's kind of exciting. So that's happily moving ahead. ComEd has, it will be in this week, doing power rights this week. Yep, tomorrow. So the power is going to be in, so we're a little delayed on that. So we're very excited about that, but I have to kudos to the team because they were thinking like they had to get the Green Bay Trail and the Friends of the Garden growing their plants. And so they set it up at the vestibule of Weinberg to start growing their plants because no one goes in and out because Kids Club goes in the other way. So
Yeah.
kudos to them for thinking outside the box so they could start with this little delay. So
Good problem solving.
kudos to you on that one. Other than that, I know we talked about, we're trying to do a board retreat with IAPD. So I'm going to suggest the July committee meeting, 7th to
7th,
them.
Gary's gonna come back to us on the 7th,
Okay,
so let's wait
okay,
24 to 48 hours and hopefully
okay.
that can work.
That'll be great. Other than that, that's all I have.
Can't believe it's almost been a year since this board has been together.
That's crazy.
No.
Guys are doing a great job. Great job.
Well, thank you, Lisa. Kyle presenting as well today, our 2 presenters. There's no reason to go to a closed section.
Correct.
So I'm gonna recommend a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
A roll call vote, Lisa.
You can say all in favor.
All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? Nope.
Nope. All right.
We are good. Thank you.
808.
8:08.